Hey, welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Stephen Takowsky from 505 Games to talk about all the Gunfire Reborn wildness we just saw in that trailer before its console, cloud, and PC release on Game Pass on October 27th. Stephen, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Listen, no problem at all. We appreciate it. And welcome to Gamescom.
Thank you. I mean, I'm having a great time.
Good to be back, right?
Absolutely.
Good. Okay, so Gunfire Reborn's been around for a little while now, right?
Yeah.
But it's coming to Xbox, console, and cloud for the very first time, which is great news. So give us an introduction to the game.
Sure. So Gunfire Reborn is a level-based adventure game with FPS, roguelike, and RPG elements. And you pretty much play with several characters who will have various abilities, and you will go on adventures through 4 different environments, and in those environments there's unique levels, enemies, and bosses.
Great. And we could see from the footage there, it's super bright, super colorful, super fast. Now, it's a roguelite as well, right? So
correct.
I'm right in thinking that every time you start a new run, it's going to be a different experience, yeah?
Sure, yeah, it's a true roguelike. Each route is going to be different each time you play, so it'll always be different from one gameplay to the next. You don't know what drops you're getting, so you have to adjust to your environment because you really don't know what you're going to have. And but you know, along the way, you're going to find different weapons. You're going to find weapon inscriptions, which are different rarities of weapons, and you don't know what to expect. But you just got to be prepared and. You'll know there's going to be a boss at the end of each level, which is your typical roguelike experience. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Excellent.
And we saw from the trailer as well, you can play it solo, and you can play co-op, multiplayer, which is awesome. But let's talk about solo first, right?
Sure.
What is that roguelite, Gunfire Reborn experience if you're just playing on your own?
Well, the solo experience is great. A lot of games, you want to play roguelike with friends. This one plays solo. It's the best way to level up your character, unlock new characters, and upgrade your character. So solo experience is more like an RPG, and there's 4 environments that you have to go through. It can be challenging because you only get 1 revive for the entire experience.
Right. And so in solo play, you're essentially, as you say, you're leveling up, you're unlocking new characters, you're working on your profile basically to then take it into multiplayer, is that right?
That's correct. And multiplayer is super fun with Gunfire Reborn. You can play 4-player co-op, and it's just a great experience. It's such clean combat. It's really exciting to see it on Xbox Game Pass because you play with your friends on Xbox, and it's just really smooth combat, and you really learn to play with your friends. You have to have unique strategies with your friends, and everyone picks a hero based on how you want to go into it, but you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what weapons you're going to have, and so you do have to adjust on the fly, even with a group of friends.
Excellent. I love that. Let's talk about those heroes then. I think we got a sense of them from the trailer, right?
Sure.
We've got a really colorful cast of animal heroes.
Yeah.
Talk us through them and pick out your favorite for us as well.
Sure. So we have a cat, we have a dog, we have a bird, we have a snow leopard,
nice.
We have a rabbit, and we have a turtle. They all have their unique abilities and perks. Some of them are optimal for elemental damage. Some of them are great for delivering melee damage or crits. So you do have to spend some time. I mean, the game has a lot there. So if you want to spend the time and drill down and learn the game, you will be rewarded. It's an excellent game that you can really spend hundreds of hours on, and we have a massive community online who really appreciate it. You see guides everywhere on optimal builds. You'll see tier lists for everything, and it's just a really popular game, and you have to decide which hero is best for you. Nice. For me, I would say getting started, the Crown Prince is a very well-balanced character. Definitely recommend it. Any weapon he can use, and he does corrosive damage with his bomb, which is really important. And then you have each character has an optimal strategy. You just got to decide which one's best for you. Nice.
Okay. You mentioned the community. I want to come back to that because there is this incredible community already built around Gunfire Reborn. So, I want to give them a shout out and come back to them. But speaking of animals, you've got the animal heroes. I think I also saw an animal being used as a weapon, right? Like a lizard as a weapon.
Yeah, that's called Justice, and
Justice
very
lizard.
Creative weapons. there's a whole arsenal. There's 8 different classes of weapons to choose from. You can be short range. You got your shotgun, long range, sniper. You have to decide, what do you want to do? Pistol? Do you want to use melee? And based on your strategy, based on your class, your hero, you can decide. But it's roguelike, so each game, you don't know what you're getting, but you have choices. There's generally 3 choices, unless a boss drops an item for you. Then you have to pick up that weapon, or you can choose not to pick up that weapon, and you can also refund the weapons as well. So you have a lot of options for your gameplay, and you look at the stats on each of these weapons, and you have to do your research, and you'll be rewarded for a game like this.
I love it. All right, so we've talked a bit about the heroes, a bit about the weapons. I need to know about these villains as well. Who are we up against in Gunfire Reborn?
Sure. So enemies in Gunfire, there's 3 classes. You have your standard enemies. You defeat them. You get soul essence. You get copper. You have your elite enemies that you find in vaults, which are these hidden cracks throughout the levels that you can get some pretty sweet rewards from, whether it's a weapon or a goblet or a scroll. And then you have the bosses at the end of the levels. And usually you'll get a legendary scroll, 2 weapons, goblet, soul essence, and copper. And, those bosses definitely can be challenging at first. But once you play the game and get used to it, you realize they all have a strategy to defeat. Some people we've seen, they jump into it, they can be a little bit challenging. But, after you really do a little bit of research, they become much easier, and it's just all fun.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've experienced playing. In my early runs, I was really getting rinsed by the bosses. But, as you go through in true roguelite style, you level up, you get it, you work it out. But some of the bosses are huge, right? I mean, I caught sight a couple in the trailer there.
Oh, yeah, they're huge. But, as you win and you gather soul essence and you level up your character, it just gets easier from there.
Yeah, and especially when you're playing with your friends in co-op as well, and you can bring all that firepower to bear.
Absolutely.
Great. All right, yeah, we talked about the community. You mentioned them earlier. Huge community already in place for Gunfire Reborn. Community keeps coming back for more. How are you working with that community and that fan base to develop the game? And what can we expect in the future for Gunfire Reborn?
Sure, so we're always listening to the community. People write guides and make videos, and the game is constantly getting balanced in order to deliver an amazing experience. Like I said, there's millions of players already in the community who are really enjoying it. And, we pay attention to them. We do have a lot of content that's coming. We'll be announcing soon. But, we take in community feedback in order to create an optimal experience, because we want them to keep playing.
Love it, love it. So I guess the Gunfire Reborn community is going to be a great place for Xbox players to start when they start playing. But given that this whole new Xbox community is coming to the game, both on console and cloud and PC through Game Pass, what do you? How would you sort of say to them, why should they jump into Gunfire Reborn?
Sure, so it definitely has amazing replayability. It's very accessible. If you're a roguelike fan or you're brand new to roguelites, it's a great experience. Very, very clean combat. It doesn't take too long to pick up. It takes a while to master, but you can just jump into it, have a great experience. If you have 3 friends standing by ready to play, it's the perfect co-op game to have a great time, and you'll spend endless hours with your friend, and you get to have animal creatures that you're taking control of, and it's just a cool experience. So yeah.
Great. Stephen, thank you so much. I'm so excited to play it, and it feels like one of those games you can get together with your friends of all ages and just have a total blast.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Graham. Appreciate it.
Stephen, it's been a pleasure. Really appreciate it.